Alright guys, Bitcoin has now hit our target exactly to the dollar. And the new bearish pattern I showed you in the last video played out perfectly once more. It's the pattern that called every single recent dip. And it could literally be playing out again tomorrow and over the next few days. So definitely stick around for that, because later in the video I'll show you exactly that and the major targets below that haven't been hit yet. I'm also still only partially in my short from 67,000 US dollars, the exact local top that we called live on this channel. So right now Bitcoin is trading inside some kind of a range, inside this parallel channel, with the top of the range sitting at these highs and the bottom right down at these lows. And recently, as you can see, Bitcoin did kind of fake out to the downside right here, and it bounced from very important level that I'll show you a bit later in the video. But the important thing is that Bitcoin is now trading back inside the range. And let's now go ahead and put the fixed range volume profile across this whole range. And what you're going to see is that Bitcoin as of right now is trading below the value area low, which is of course not particularly bullish indication. But a break back above the value area low would, at least in the short term, be a bullish sign, and Bitcoin could very well see a bounce up to the value area high or even up to the range highs. And if we look a little bit back, that is exactly what happened right here. Bitcoin bounced, broke above the value area low, and then went not only for the value area high, but even higher all the way up to the top of the range, where it got rejected. And from there it broke back below the value area high, which is of course a more bearish signal, and it went straight for the range lows next. So the value area low is definitely the level to watch if Bitcoin does start pushing higher from around here. But why is Bitcoin seeing this slight bounce right here? And why could it even see a bigger one and break above the value area low? Well, as you know, if you watch my videos, hopefully, we have been talking about this bearish 5-wave count for the past few weeks. And the target we set for the 5th wave, the 1.618 extension, is the exact level Bitcoin just recently hit right here on this low. And if we pull it up, you're going to see Bitcoin hit it nearly to the dollar at around 58,400 US dollars, and it is now seeing a slight bounce from there. And that does technically mean that the bearish 5-wave count could be ending right here at the 1.618. Not necessarily, but it definitely could have already ended. And that means some kind of a relief bounce or even a whole new wave count could be starting here. For example, another ABC count to the upside. And if that does play out, the very likely targets, like I said, are the value area high and the top of the range. So it could be like this: an A wave to the upside, then a B wave back down, and then a C wave back to the upside. And that is definitely one of the more likely scenarios right now, especially considering the levels Bitcoin just hit and the fact that a relief bounce usually does come after this big of a move to the downside. And let's now open up the liquidation heat map and let's start on the 3-day chart. And what you're going to see is that in the short term, Bitcoin does have a major liquidation cluster sitting right above where it's trading right now. So that is definitely some liquidity that could act as a magnet for the price up here. And if we zoom out to the 1-week chart, the two biggest liquidation clusters are actually to the upside as well, with more than 180 million in shorts getting wrecked if price does push up and sweep those levels. So again, that is definitely some liquidity that could be acting as a magnet for the price. And if we zoom out even further to the 2-week chart, again, there are definitely more liquidations sitting to the upside than to the downside. And a lot of them are even stacked up right at the top of the current local range that we just talked about earlier. But let me also show you the pattern that could turn things a bit more bearish. But before I do that, I would really appreciate it if you guys are finding this helpful, to like the video, subscribe to the channel, because 200 subscribers is definitely possible, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. So let me show you this pattern in full, because it has been calling these moves almost perfectly. What you're going to see is that Bitcoin has been putting in a local high around every single Monday top, and then sell off. Again, Monday top and then sell off. And it just keeps happening every single week. Now keep in mind that the last few weeks Bitcoin has still been trading inside this bearish 5-wave count. So if that count is now finished, then even the Monday pattern could have ended right here along with it. But if it's not finished and Monday marks the high once again and Bitcoin continues lower from there, then the 5th wave is very likely not done yet. And in that case, the next major level below is the macro golden pocket, taken from the bottom of the previous bear market all the way up to the all-time high. And that is also exactly where I would be completely exiting the rest of my short, because the macro golden pocket is definitely a major level. And here is what makes it so interesting. If we look back at the previous bear market, this same golden pocket got hit as well, and Bitcoin bounced around 28% straight off of it. So it's definitely a great level to take profit on the short and potentially even reshort the bounce, because in that previous bear market, Bitcoin did eventually break below the golden pocket and continue lower afterward. So that's where we are. Bitcoin hit our 1.618 target almost to the dollar, the short from 67,000 is in profit and already partially closed, and now we are watching whether this Monday pattern caps the bounce and sends Bitcoin lower toward the macro golden pocket, or if the 5-wave count actually finished already. As always, this is not financial advice and manage your risk. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.